It's day 41 of the DHS shutdown. 41 days. You heard me correctly. Do you know what that means? That means 41 days of no pay for TSA workers. And tomorrow, TSA will miss another paycheck, totaling the agency's expected loss of checks to $1 billion of unpaid salaries. Now, TSA officials say workers are resorting to selling their blood plasma. They are sleeping in their cars. It is a desperate struggle to get food on their tables. And you're looking at those long lines for Americans traveling. They're facing the longest TSA lines in history. At George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston, travelers were waiting up to 6 hours. Now, lines snaked up 3 floors, starting in the basement. And in Atlanta, airport lines extended outside of the terminal. It's an all-out nightmare. And while everyday Americans are suffering, over on Capitol Hill, guess what they're doing? Congress cannot agree on a deal to end the madness. And there was another failed Senate vote to fund DHS. There's no end in sight. In fact, Thune just said to our reporters that he has presented Democrats with what they think is their last and final offer. Well, Congress is supposed to go on a recess, that's right, a paid vacation, from March 28th to April 12th. Travelers say enough is enough.
Politicians, get yourself together and do the work of the people that we put you in office to do.
I think people are frustrated and they're ready for the politicians on the Hill to get this resolved.
I think at some point people are really going to crash out, in my opinion, because this is really frustrating.
And President Trump moments ago during his cabinet meeting says everyday Americans are pointing their fingers at Democrats.
Democrats are really punishing the American people. I saw it today on one of the shows where they were interviewing people at the airport, and they're all angry at the Democrats. They're saying they're actually angry at Schumer. I didn't think anyone knew his name. One woman said, that Schumer is disgraceful. He's a disgrace to our country. But they're angry at the Democrats.
You know, Emily, John Thune was asked about where negotiations stand. He said, I think the Democrats are in possession of the last and final offer from us. So let's hope this gets it done. That doesn't sound promising.
It doesn't. It's like the president said just moments ago in the cabinet meeting, where the GOP is the party of common sense and the Democrats have now become the party of insanity. I hate to sound like a broken record, but I must repeat that I am so ashamed of the Democrats here as our government, that this is how they treat their servants. And I've heard some comparisons to attempt to undermine the empathy and sympathy that Americans have for these workers, somehow relating it to DOGE. And this is anything but that, because DOGE was in the interest of the American people of streamlining where our tax dollars go, and it was ensuring that every federal worker was cared for in the amount of paychecks and severance policies. Here we are demanding that federal civil servants show up to work, and by the way, in a very stressful environment, as sitting ducks in especially vulnerable positions, because there are large groups of people amassed at pre-security checkpoints during the time when we were in a conflict with an entity that wants to totally annihilate us, and we are asking them to do it for free. And these are people who are attempting to cover childcare and mortgages and health all at the same time. The stories that have come out, to your point about the blood plasma and the sleeping in cars, our civil servants, again, have been reaching out to nonprofits, other relatives, and banks from loans. They're taking out loans on their 401ks just to make mortgage payments. And those Democrats can sit there with a straight face and enjoy the salary that we pay still being deposited into their bank accounts and then expect that they're going to go on vacation for it. The problem is, if you exhibited this absolute abdication of duty in a private sector, you would be terminated. But we cannot, for some reason, terminate these people. They just sit there and rot. And Chuck Schumer has the nerve to say that what is bone-chilling is ICE at the airports. No, sir. What is bone-chilling is the fact that the Democrat Party seeks to totally take advantage of these agents that have dedicated their lives to service, and now we look at them in the face and say, you're going to do it for free. It is tragic.
It is. And, you know, John, when you look at the details, we have Bill Malugin reported yesterday that the deal was falling apart. The Senate GOP offered to fund all of DHS except ICE's deportation wing. And that reporting comes as we know that the head of DHS has been replaced. I mean, they have gotten deliverables here, but they are saying, no, we want judicial warrants for ICE operations. That would hamper ICE entirely.
This is just people in Congress scoring political points at the expenses Emily laid out of our national security. This is just a dereliction of duty. Democrats have already got most of what they wanted. Right now, they're just asking for symbolic things as an excuse to hold this up. We are in the middle of a war where our enemy is losing militarily on the battlefield, and so their response is to try to launch asymmetric, barbaric attacks on civilians in our homeland. I was there at 9/11. The reason we created DHS is because we didn't have a defense to terrorists and people like homegrown attackers that we're seeing now. We've already seen several attacks like this. That's why DHS is created. TSA, in a way, is just the tip of the iceberg. We can see that part, but the rest of DHS is also not being funded, and they're responsible for protecting the rest of the country in every dimension. And the Democrats in Congress are willing to sacrifice our national security just to score some points to maybe win in the midterms in November. That is the opposite of doing your duty.
Yeah, and with national security threats really higher than they've been in quite some time with the Iran war. You know, Martha, when you look at this is the juxtaposition I think the American people have a hard time stomaching. It's the $1 billion. We have this. We'll pull it up. TSA lost paychecks. And then when you flip to the next screen, what you see is Easter recess paid vacation for Congress, which begins this weekend.
It's pathetic. And I think about the man at the beginning of those individuals who spoke at the airport who said, we elected you. You know, and this is how we feel about this. We want you to solve this. We want you to make some compromises. They are called representatives for a reason. And they're representing the people who are standing on this line. And they're saying, we don't care about you. We don't care about you. We care more about the political point, as you just said, John, and we're just going to keep hammering it. I bet a lot of people don't remember exactly why the Democrats are even fighting this fight. They're saying, well, we don't ever want to see another Minnesota. Okay, you already won that battle. President Trump doesn't want to see another Minnesota. That's why he fired Kristi Noem. That's why he said we're going to go back to the worst of the worst policy. So you've already won this battle. So take that win and let people go back to work and let things start moving here. It's absolutely unbelievable. And to your point, John, just quickly about what Iran wants. So they're scrambling a little bit now. They've lost a lot of their Navy and their military, as we've seen in this press conference. But what they do have is terrorism. They've been good at it. They've been doing it for 50 years, okay? They know how to do this. Can you imagine what they think when they look at this TSA story? These guys aren't getting paid. We can hit them with cyber. We could hit them, you know, at these very crowded gates. So think about that for a moment when you before you go home for Easter, folks.
Lydia.
You know, in watching some of the reactions from people that are trying to just get from point A to point B, I'm just amazed at how patient they are. And to your point, Martha, I think, you know, we all know the origin of this particular shutdown and the last one, for that matter, being the Democrats. But I wonder how much the American public still remembers that now. I'm not so sure that they are actually keeping score in that way. And I think they're just blaming Congress and Washington across the board, which is, I think, not great news for Republicans who are trying their best to get everything up and moving. I hope out of all of this, though, ICE being deployed to the airports, handing out water. And I just saw some reporting from our wonderful correspondent, Brooke Taylor, down in Texas, that they're now being cleared to also screen bags. I hope ICE gets some credit for this. I hope that they get some praise and appreciation, as well as the TSA officers that are still showing up despite not being paid. But ICE, they've been so demonized, and they certainly deserve some appreciation.
No doubt about it.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.